Hey Grace, how's it going?
Very good. Well, thank you. How about you?
Good. I know you work within BLB Network, right? So you talk to hundreds of people who are looking into becoming a business loan broker. Maybe they heard of this idea of being a money broker, like pretty much making money by selling money for the first time. And you talk to them every single day. Like you're a key part of Business Lending Blueprint. And I know you put together a list of questions that people ask you, and you thought it's a good idea for us to jump on a call and answer those. Obviously, this could have been a one-on-one session between us, and we figured why not just record it and give it to people, right? So they can get the questions answered and they can decide if this is a good fit for them or not, or even is it even a viable option, because obviously it's not a good fit for everyone. There are certain things that needs to be in place. I just wanted to answer your questions. Like we do a lot of training in-house for our BLB team members. This was supposed to be one of them, but we got nothing to hide, so you might as well just share it with people that you're in contact with. So I am here, like whatever questions you want to answer, let's go through them.
I guess the first one, just to start us off, answer what actually is the business opportunity here?
I guess for anyone who's really not familiar with what we're talking about here, so in this day and age, there are a lot of different business opportunities that you can go through, right? You can buy real estate, you can start an Amazon business, you can invest in crypto. So people are inundated with so many different options, but they forget the most fundamental thing that's been making money, and that's responsible from the foundation of the banking system, which is lending money. That's the fastest way to money. So if you want to make either side income or full-time income, one of the best things you can do is become the middlemost person between the money and the person who needs the money. That's what a business loan broker is, right? So that's, if you go back in 1800s, Charles Schwab's and people like that, Andrew Carnegie, they built their wealth by, a lot of times by lending either their knowledge or their money, even to the governments, which created the complete banking system. But now the current banking system is hurting the average individual because small businesses cannot have access to capital through the banking system, especially in the United States, which gave birth to an industry called alternative lending. As the name suggests, it's alternative to the bank lending, which is extremely lucrative. That's what the business opportunity is. And many people, while they're looking for an avenue out of their 9 to 5, they want to be an entrepreneurial person to generate income. They kind of miss the boat on what they do. They usually put something in between money, like I'm going to sell this product to get the money. What if you make money by helping people who need money get access to money? I know it sounds like a riddle, but that's just how it is, right? So there are over 30 million people in the United States who are actually in business currently, and they are looking for funding. And every single day, thousands of new people are starting new businesses. And the number one need they have is capital, right? Without business, you can't save the business, you can't grow it, you can't hire it. It's always good to have access to capital. So that's what the opportunity is. You become the person who it's like money matchmaking, right? You match the right business, the right funding option, and the average commission is $2,000 to $5,000. For someone who's just trying to understand what the idea is, it's like the most straightforward business, right? So you make money by selling money. And in our community, my saying is the money is the sexiest product you can sell. You can make money by selling a lot of other stuff, but that's, as you know, my biography, like my story is the same way. I started out as a broker, made a lot of money through it. Then I noticed that getting leads through telemarketing and cold calling is an archaic way of doing things. And I developed systems in place which turned into Business Lending Blueprint. So does that answer your question? Like what the idea of this business is in its broader spectrum?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely does. So essentially you're the middleman in eliminating any other products, really. That
100%.
makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I guess on the back of that, how does the Business Lending Blueprint actually fit into that opportunity?
Yeah, so we can go off of that. Now we understand the business. Why do we exist? Why is there a company called Business Lending Blueprint? As you can see from the awards, we became the fastest growing company in the United States doing what we do, which is doing our work in alternative lending and educating people, right? So if you don't understand financial literacy, if you just try to ignore it, then you get into the situation of using the product, not making money with it, meaning that you're going to use credit cards to go on a shopping spree or increase your debt or just get funding for your business and try to go through banks and different options versus learning it enough to turning into opportunity, right? And that's the biggest problem. One of the biggest problems in the United States, people do not understand credit and funding, or they demonize it, meaning that credit is bad, funding is bad, never use it. Yeah, but you have two options: either make a lot of money or use credit as a lever to make a lot of money, right? So it's easy to train someone, tell someone, you got to start a business and make a lot of money, but not many people talk about, well, how are we going to do that? I need help, some kind of lever finance credit is that lever that you can use to grow your business. So what we noticed immediately as I was growing my business in the alternative lending industry, that there's this big knowledge gap. That's what we fill. We teach people on how to become a business loan broker. And the immediate other problem is, okay, well, I know how to find people maybe who needs money. Where am I going to send them? You need access to the lenders, lending partners, and we provide that. And most importantly, you need ongoing training, because the more you learn, the more you earn, right? So that's statistically accurate, that as you add more knowledge into your brain, basically, especially on specialized stuff, it incrementally increases your knowledge base. And when you turn into a business opportunity, then it goes from incremental to like scaling, pretty much like exponential growth in your income. So Business Lending Blueprint closes that gap. We provide the technology you need to grow this business, from your website, your funnels, your automations, your AI. Even like we have an AI training system, our brokers come in and they get trained by AI as well. And we have a team members like yourself who's responsible from helping these people become successful business loan brokers. Because Grace, as you know, trying to grow a business through trial and error is probably the worst thing you can do, because the most expensive asset you have is time. I know people are pretty smart. They can figure it out, but figuring it out in 2024 is kind of old school. Okay. So because every minute that you spend doing trial and erroring stuff is costing you money, resources, and time, which you might not have to start with. You're selling your time to learn this, which is a major problem, right? So we're covering that gap. We're giving you the technology. We're giving you the lenders. We're showing you how to find these people. There's millions of them. We're showing you the process on not only taking them from where they are. They might be a single mom. They might be, I don't know, like in their early 20s, or they might be someone who's like 60 plus years old, and turning them into business loan broker. That's why we exist. And we notice over time, I mean, we have to be idiot not to see the patterns after dealing with thousands of people, like what they need. We cover that gap. That's why it's been super successful for people who come in. And, you know, as you know, like you share with your potential customers, the website, the reviews and all that stuff, we have hundreds of them. It's not like us talking about it. It's like our customers talking about it too. Yeah. So I don't know if I missed anything, but that's pretty much what BLB does and why we exist.
That's definitely sums it up as well. So thank you so much for that. And I guess my question regarding that is, you know, it sounds like such an amazing opportunity, but is the market very saturated for business loan brokers?
That's a great question. So the alternative lending industry has been growing in triple digits since 2008. US went through a major recession, right? And then banks were about to fail. The government bailed them out. Usually that's what government does. They bail out failing banks because they don't want the banking system to collapse, right? But that gave birth to alternative lending industry, because all the funding were almost completely restricted in 2008. We had the real estate bubble burst. So then people still needed money. And then a couple of smart investors got together and they started funding deals, which became the alternative lending industry, right? And ever since then, first, it was kind of growing incrementally. Then it started taking off. It's been growing, like I said, in triple digits. And there's not even enough people to supply the current demand, let alone saturating the market. This is not an insurance industry. Right. This is not mortgage industry. Many people, like if you're watching this right now, tell me if you knew about alternative lending industry before you watched this video. Maybe you heard of it recently, right? But I bet that you know about insurance industry. I bet that you know about Amazon, like being an Amazon seller. I bet that you heard of crypto, right? So that's the answer right there. So the business loan brokerage, since we sell money, there will always be people who will need money, right? Whether they are starting a business, whether they're saving a business, whether they're growing a business. I mean, you can fund someone anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to $3 million. So when you look at that large, range, think about how many businesses fit into that. That goes from your mom and pop deli all the way to a manufacturing plant who needs to buy equipment. There's hundreds of niches in between that you can serve. You can help them buy equipment. You can help them start a business. You can help them buy real estate. So when you look at that, it's like, I don't know, it's like asking that, is there enough oxygen in the atmosphere for all the people that we have? Like it's there. There's no way that you can populate it to that point almost, right? This is the same thing. And also as the supply grows, demand grows too, because they see like you're helping US economy basically grow by funding these small businesses. Like when you think about it, we're living in the most capitalistic country, right? US is like propelled by entrepreneurship. So more entrepreneurs are successful, more people want to be entrepreneurs on their own. So yeah, point of saturation, we're far from it as far as I understand, but it feels saturated if your strategy is to buy some leads and telemarket them. Then you're going to feel extremely saturated because you're calling somebody else's junk. They sell these leads to so many other providers. It gives the false impression to people, oh, anyone that I call knows about lending options. No, not really. You're calling a small pool of people that's been sold to 50 other people just like you. That's why we teach people how to generate leads and own the lead sources yourself. So you don't buy it from some other person who sold it to another 50 people. That's usually the main thing people can get confused. Like, yeah, I bought a list and telemarketed. First of all, don't do that. Don't telemarket people. We believe in permission-based marketing, right? Why not offer this service to people who actually need money? Because I don't think it's mentally, physically possible for me to convince you to get money from you when you don't want money. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's kind of silly, right? So you're trying to hard sell it. There's no need for it. Either someone needs money or they don't. If they don't need money, move on. If they need money, ask them why they haven't gotten it yet. They'll tell you they couldn't, but you offer solutions. That's just simple as that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I guess from my personal experience, I talk to quite a few people in the day-to-day who don't come from the industry, and they're worried that they won't be successful when coming into it. And so I guess my question is it hard to become successful if you don't come from the industry?
It could be. Depends on how you look at it. Honestly, if you want to just figure it out yourself and your background has nothing to do with this, it could be a learning curve. That's why I always invested in mentorship. I know you do too, right? So you got to learn from someone who's done it before. In my lifetime, I spent over $1 million in just pretty much avoiding trial and error. Like, I fly 8 to 10 times a year to go to different people to learn from their experience, because it's a better learning methodology than me just saying, I'm smart enough and I'm going to figure it out myself. Well, I try that approach. Well, either I'm not smart enough or it takes a long time, right? But if you learn from other people's mistakes and their experience, you can 10x your speed. At the end of the day, the industry itself is not complicated at all. You're offering money to people who want to get money, but there are nuances, right? So how do you get an application from it? Do you want to get an application from it? Or do you, for example, we have partners who do the entire work for you. All you have to do is just make an introduction. Hey, this is Grace. She needs money, to a lending partner, and they do the entire work, versus you wanting to know every step of being a loan broker, right? So we have options for people to choose from, right? So again, if you want to do it on your own, just like most things, it's going to have certain level of, difficulty, but that's why I believe in not reinventing the wheel. It's like our community funds tens of millions of dollars a month. You want to be a part of that network. It gives you leveraging power with the lenders too. Like, you, one person going out trying to do a lending deal with a lender will not go as well as us going on your behalf, negotiating those deals with our massive community, Yeah,
that definitely makes sense. Thank you so much. I think that definitely answered the question. So I guess looking at the commission structure of this, how long would it actually take for someone who comes into the course to make their first commission payment?
That's a great question. So we get asked that a lot. And just so people understand, your job is to pretty much filter people who come through our program. We get thousands of people on a monthly basis who check it out. And then your job is to make sure, hey, is this a good fit? I know we turned down a lot of people, right? So for various reasons. And that's why we're answering these questions. So it makes your job easy and our job easy. So when they listen to this, they'll either say, holy cow, I have butterflies in my stomach. This is exciting. This is an opportunity. Or they'll go, nah, not really. And if it is not really, that's okay. The worst place to be is stuck in limbo state. Like, I don't know, I can't make up my mind. Money loves speed. It's in everybody's best interest that you make up your mind fast to decide either this is not for you, you move on to another opportunity, or heck yeah, it is for me, I'm interested. And those are the people that you're trying to identify, right, in your day-to-day conversation. So one of the questions, like you asked me, is how much money can I make and how fast can I make it? A lot of that depends on how much effort you put in. But certain industries, you cannot control the speed. For example, if you try to become a real estate agent today, you cannot really control how fast the properties are sold, right? So because there's, surveying to be done, and it goes through underwriting, there's title company and all of that. The fastest you can move in some cases is 90 days, all the way up to 6 months or a year. If it's a commercial project, a lot more than that. In our industry, you can actually provide funding for a company and as little as same day, believe it or not, right? You find a company and then they need funding. You can get them in like today by the end of business day, and your commission is paid in 48 hours. So if we're talking about speed, right, there are things that you will control, meaning how much time do you put in to learn the stuff and take action and all that stuff. We have no control over that. We provide the live ongoing coaching We have many bright people like yourself within BLB who provide it. Like we provide the onboarding, the ongoing training. We have Isabel who runs like, I don't even know, like 10 live calls a week on different funding options. But if someone is not willing to put themselves through that process and learn it, they're not going to make money. Simple as that. This is not a get rich quick scheme. However, once you put into action, you also want to make sure that the industry itself can pay you fast. And this is why selling money is a very lucrative game, because you can put someone in through the system, get them funded within 24 to 48 hours and get paid almost the same week, sometimes same week, sometimes next week. So you have the fastest, slowest way can go up to 2-3 weeks, right? So you have the government funded options. So we ship everyone what's called a success framework. Our flow chart is an actual poster that walks them through every funding option in the timeline, right? So you can go from making money in a couple of days to a couple of weeks. That's the speed. And in our community, like how fast can I make money? Well, we have people who join and within 3 days, they funded their first deal and within a week they got paid. We have people who have been with us for 9 months and not making money, full transparency. But again, that's the part that I can and you cannot control. We provide the resources. That's why our job is to do a good enough job on the front end to filter people who are action takers, right? Otherwise, we don't want people who are going to come in and check out the training and take no action and waiting for magic to happen. There's no magic pill. You just want to be on the right vehicle when you're an entrepreneur. If you're entrepreneurial or already hardworking, already want to make a lot of money, you're already motivated, the worst thing you can do for yourself is be in the wrong vehicle. We're just offering you the right vehicle. If you're the right person hopping on the right vehicle, then no one's going to stop you. So that's the answer to that. Depends, but the industry want to pay you really, really fast, you know?
No, and that definitely makes sense. Thank you for answering that. So when people come into the course and they're like, okay, I'm going to work really hard, put 10 to 15 hours in per week, I'm going to focus, show up to their coaching calls, what is the number one thing that you would recommend for them to fast track their success in the program?
Love that. I have a saying, and many people use that, take imperfect action, right? So this is not an academic course. This is not a college course that you need a semester, 2 semesters. You're learning how to build a successful and very lucrative business. You will never get to a point of waking up one day and be like, okay, I think I know everything and now time to take action. Business doesn't work that way, right? So what we teach in BLB is you take action as you learn. That's the best way to immerse that education into your mind so it becomes an unforgettable experience and skill set, right? So we're training you on a very lucrative skill set, learning how to make money with money. That's extremely lucrative. Like hourly rate goes through the roof. Even if you do this and go get a job with how much you know, because you are being resourceful on helping companies get access to capital. That's a very expensive skill set, right? So my advice is that, and we go through this on the onboarding call, honestly, like our onboarding manager, as you know, when we board new members into BLB, they go through like our core principles and how to take massive action, what to do, how to that's why we give like 3 paths of funding, right? One is the done for you. All you focuses on is bringing people, like lead generation, and our partners do the rest. Done with you, you can be an apprentice to someone who's funding deals and learn through that. Do it yourself, is get access to direct lenders and become like 100% business loan broker if you want to do this full time, right? So that's my thing, the knowledge, because BLB is an ocean of information resource. Like you can come back, but the goal is not to go through it, finish it, because we're not going to give you a diploma. Trust me, that's not the point. Your success is measured in how much you're making out of this, right? So you can pass down that information to your kids, your wife, your partner, whatever, because you're learning financial literacy. But the success in business, the currency of business is how much you make. That's the dollars. So you want to take, and dollars is not going to happen unless you're taking action.
Absolutely. Amen to that. That is perfect way to answer that question. I think the people who are listening to this will get a really good understanding of everything that the blueprint is and the actual industry opportunity. So thank you so much for taking the time to answer these questions.
Yeah, my pleasure. Do you have any other questions we can answer? I'm sure you're going to send this out to anyone that you talk to who's a good fit for the program itself. And then as you have more questions, we can do more sessions on this one. But I think this covered a lot of the main ones, unless you think of anything else.
No, sounds good to me.
Awesome. Hey, you're an important part of our team. You do a lot of great work. You've added so many valuable members to our community because of your process. And I applaud you for that. So anyone who's working with you, they should consider themselves very fortunate.
Thank you so much. Good to hear. All right. Thank you so much, Oz. Talk soon.
All right. Thank you.